Hey, what's going on, everybody? Zaldin Palantir, as always, here to give you guys the review this time of Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 6. Now, alright, first, initial thoughts. Okay, well, actually, something that kind of relates to last week's video. I'm going to go ahead and do this for a favor to you guys, for one video at least. Take off my glasses, because apparently it's really distracting and, like, the light glares off of it. So, no glasses for this one. I can't see, just letting you guys know I cannot see shit right now, but I don't think I need to see anything except for, like, comments. So, let's get to it. Alright, so, this episode overall was absolutely fucking amazing. It was just absolutely a mind-blowing episode. And I don't give episodes a mind-blowing review. Honestly, in my honest opinion, I'm not even kidding, and I'm definitely saying this is the best episode so far of Game of Thrones. I'm gonna say period. Not from a special effects standpoint, not from a battle standpoint, not from a story like impacting standpoint, but just the acting and the character it was involving. Get the fuck out of here. I really I'm just waiting until I can rewatch the episode, and I don't even want to rewatch the whole episode. I want to rewatch the final scene, just the trial, and it was honestly just an absolutely amazing episode. Honestly, there was nothing bad I could say about this episode, and I rarely say that. I usually have like one or two little gripes, one or two things to say that were negative about the episode, that they could have done differently, what I thought was gonna happen but didn't happen because they changed it up somehow. There's always something, but this episode was honestly just mind-blowing in every way, and I just can't stress that enough. Let me get into it real quick, but just saying, if you guys are enjoying the video so far, go ahead and drop a like, share it, whatever you need to do. Just get it out there. I want more people watching this, obviously, and we can get more questions in this time. That would be absolutely amazing. So let's just take it from the top. Let me pull out my notes real quick. All right, there we go. Okay, so first of all, we have the whole part with Stannis at going to Braavos. He went to the Iron Bank to see if they would be willing to give him gold. Now, the Iron Banks thing right now is they're a very, very intelligent organization. They've been around for a very long time. They know the game. They know how it's played. And to sway their mindset, you really need to do a lot. So, by that token, I think Stannis going over there, I like the kind of guy Stannis is, He knows what's right, or at least he thinks he knows what's right. He's not always right in every situation, but he's the kind of guy that will go over there with his ideals he believes to be correct. He has that iron will, and he will follow it through to the end. And his attitude, Stannis' attitude and how he acts, saved him 100%. 100%. If it was not for you might make the argument that if it wasn't for Davos coming in, giving that amazing speech, being a very, very, very good, loyal, intelligent right-hand man to Stannis, that would never happen, and they would have never gotten the money from the Iron Bank. But at the same time, you can say it's just as much Stannis' doing by cutting off Davos' fingers in the first place, and it really helped push the metaphor that Stannis pays his debts. Stannis is actually a man that does what he says he'll do. He has the conviction, and he's just really effective at getting done what he needs to get done. So in that case, I just absolutely love Stannis. This episode gave me a lot more respect for Stannis, and of course, as non-book readers, you guys are going to be just growing not as much on Stannis in the future, but I believe you guys are going to be growing more on Davos. And I'm not going to say why, but this episode gave you a little hint, little pointer of why. Because Davos is turning into this almighty sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tactician, orator, I guess. He's just going to be really good at giving these speeches and just convincing people. He has a way with words. He can convince people to follow Stannis, like he did with the Iron Bank. So that's just that was a really good scene. Now we go from there to the scene with Salladhor Saan. Of course, we didn't know, we weren't too sure whether or not the Iron Bank decided to endorse Stannis until the scene with Salladhor Saan when Davos was talking to him, and fucking Salladhor Saan. I just love this character, and I love his quotes. But before I was saying, actually, you know what? Now that under a little further speculation, before I was saying how I didn't have any problems with the episode, but there was actually one problem I had with it, just a singular problem, and that was the fact that they completely flipped around what Salladhor Saan's role in the story was and what he's supposed to do. Now, I'm not sure. Actually, actually, no. No, this is not a spoiler, actually. This would not count as a spoiler, because if they were to put this in the series, the time for it to happen would already be gone. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. But yeah, the time that this would have happened would already be past, right? So what happened in the books was a lot different. What happened was Salladhor Saan needed payment for what he lost in the Battle of the Blackwater. Because if you didn't know before, Salladhor Saan was aligned with Stannis under the pretense of the fact that they would pillage and he would reap the benefits. But of course, the siege of King's Landing failed in the end. So Salladhor Saan did not get to receive any payments for what he did. So in the books, what happened was Stannis was, I think, completely out of ships. I think he literally had 0 ships left to his name. If not, he had like only literally a handful. Not even as many as he had in the show, which he had 32. He literally had a handful of ships left. And what he needed was Salladhor Saan to I think Davos wanted Salladhor Saan to, I'm not going to say exactly what he wanted him to do, because this might happen later. But basically what happened is Salladhor Saan, no matter how much they begged, no matter how much they pleaded with him, he abandoned Stannis, and he abandoned the cause. So it eventually came to the point where Salladhor Saan completely cut off all his resources to Stannis and was not giving him any more aid. And they changed it, I think, partially. I actually kind of like this change, even though it betrays Salladhor Saan's character. Well, okay, no, it doesn't betray his character, because in the show he did receive payment for what he did, but it kind of just, I don't know, it just kind of alters the story overall. And I'm usually not a big fan of that, but whatever. It really doesn't matter to me right now, especially because of the fact this episode was just so good in general that, I mean, I'm not going to complain, personally, about what happened. So, next thing on the list, after the whole Stannis business, let me just also mention that this episode didn't seem like it didn't shift that much between different storylines. It had a little bit of shifting, but we stayed in the area we need to stay in for just the right amount of time before switching to the next area. Just something I liked about this episode, just some little extra. After that, we have Asha Greyjoy storming where Ramsey Bolton is. I'm not sure, where is he at the moment? Because I remember that he was told by Roose to go take over Moat, so I'm assuming that's where they are at this point. I think I wasn't paying attention right or something, but I think they're at Moat. Should not be at the Dreadfort anymore, but I'm not completely 100% sure. Tell me where they are in the comments, because I don't know. I think I could have probably been paying a little more attention to that part. I was still writing notes when that was going. Maybe it was established. Maybe they didn't explain it properly. I'm not too sure. But basically, Asha goes in. She tries to free Theon, but this is where we figure out that Theon is really gone. If we didn't know it before, when he could have killed Ramsey when he was shaving him in that other scene, but he eventually decided not to kill him, or well, the thought never crossed his mind. That's how we initially knew that Theon was lost, and he really wasn't himself anymore. But this scene really, really stresses the fact that it's a lot more severe than most of us even thought in the first place. Because before it was just a matter of, oh, Theon, clearly lost himself. But if he was to be given a reminder, exposed to his family or something, he would have definitely, turned table, gone back to his family's side, gone to the people that are trying to save him. But how much over the edge do you have to be to, when your sister comes to save you, you literally reject her. You reject her. You reject your true identity as Theon Greyjoy. You say you're weak. You bite. He fucking bit her. He fucking bit Asha when she tried to free him, when she was trying to save him. He literally bit her. I think that's the point where I was like, holy shit. I mean, okay, fine. It's kind of, I guess it could be understandable to be scared, because he was scared out of his fucking mind when she came and tried to save him. Maybe you can be scared in that situation, but Theon just went apeshit. He bit Asha. He was just crazy right there. He was completely out of his fucking mind. And this caused Asha, when Ramsey, first of all, Ramsey, let me just say, Ramsey's a pretty good fighter. I wasn't expecting that, for Ramsey to be, even, actually, I don't think he was on par with Asha, because Asha's a really, really skilled fighter. I'm not going to go ahead and say she's top tier, but as far as females in the series, I think she's definitely on the top tier of females. That being said, though, we don't really have that many female fighters other than Brienne in Game of Thrones. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Asha was really, really skilled. But on the other hand, Ramsey really, really surprised me. He was a very skilled fighter. He took down multiple men by himself. But anyways, after that, Ramsey set loose the dogs. And, Asha, I guess she had a choice. She could have taken the remaining men, fought, possibly killed the dogs, and expended a few more men to rescue Theon. But at that point, she's just like, Theon is dead. My brother is dead. This guy is not my brother. I guess what she thought, which is the rational thing to think, is that she would have gone there, set Theon free, he would have helped her, and, they would have all just fought their way out. But rather than that, Theon was just he was just gone. He's literally no longer himself. There remains not even a trace of the guy that was originally there, and that's sad as hell. Because I was starting to really, really love Theon at the point where we were in the books. Now, this is something only book readers will understand, but I'm going to throw it in. Don't worry, it's not a spoiler. Do not worry. I just want to say that this scene was actually added in. This is technically filler, the scene with Asha trying to rescue Theon. It did not go this way in the books. Something totally different happened. Actually, I wouldn't even say something totally different happened, because this scene right here did not happen. But I guess it's a way of filling the time and just having an extra Theon scene. Now, it was really well done. It was really exciting. I guess this is the way of filling the time, because in the books there was a huge span of time, like a really, really big span of time, where we got absolutely no Theon chapters. It was literally, I think it was like for a whole book, we never got any Theon chapters until like the last chapter. But yeah, this is a way to fill time for the next big thing to happen with Theon. And I'm happy to say that Theon's storyline actually is going to just keep on getting more and more interesting. So if you possibly thought it couldn't get any better, it will get better. So don't worry. Let's see. Next scene that happened was, I believe we're now in King's Landing. Let me just check my notes really quick. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. This is the scene, the bath scene with Theon. And this just more so stresses the amount of just like how fucked Theon's mind is right now. It's just absolutely just fucking insane how screwed he is at this point in the story. He is literally like, he hasn't taken a bath for God knows how long. In the books, they really, really stressed how much or how badly he needed a bath. Like the reason he's called Reek, by the way. I mean, of course, you can't experience in the TV series, or there's no exposition to tell you. But he's supposed to have this like ungodly stench. Like if you were to be in the same room as Theon, in the books they stress this. If you were to be in the same room as this dude, you would have probably like passed out. That's how disgusting he smelled. Like worse than like rotting corpses. This is how bad Theon smelled. So, of course, we can't know this by watching the series, sadly. One of the flaws of the TV series is you don't know exactly, different senses, different emotions at certain times. Actually, no, emotions are done a lot better in the TV series, but everything that has to do with your senses is really a lot worse. Rather, other than, I would say, probably the sense of sight, but every other sense is dulled when you're watching the series, because nothing can be verbally explained. But yeah, Theon is all happy because he gets a bath. And top it off with Ramsey telling Theon that he's going to have to act like himself. Okay, no more Reek. He's going to have to act like Theon now if he wants to go and take over wherever. I don't think Ramsey said where the castle that he wants Theon to take over by acting like himself. So, interesting. We'll see what happens there. Next scene is the whole Daenerys thing over in Meereen, where basically Daenerys, her dragons are starting to, grow up, and now they're going hunting. They hunt by themselves now, because if you don't remember, Daenerys before used to give them food. She used to have like a few like slabs of meat or whatever laying around, and she used to just throw it to the dragons or feed it to them, and they would eat. Now they're getting too big for that alone, so now they have to hunt their own food, and they're taking random people's food and random shit from the city. And if you can't see where this is going, just fucking wait. But yeah, these dragons are literally just like doing whatever the fuck they want. Basically, Daenerys needs to put some parental controls on these dragons, like chain them up, or I don't know, but these dragons are getting really out of control. Like, they're literally just roaming around, scaring the shit out of people, taking their food. Like, I just imagine, like, you're about to eat some food, you just buy, like, some food for your family, and you're just on your way home about to eat it. Like, you got your plate, you put the food on it, and you're about to eat it, and a dragon just comes and just takes that shit and runs away. Like, come on, man. You can't be taking people's food. Like, Jesus Christ. But, let's see. Next scene, oh yeah, we get to the Daenerys' small council. Well, her court, my bad, not small council. It's technically her court. And the guy comes back, and Daenerys, okay, for now it's good. Daenerys says, we'll pay you 3 times the amount. The guy's happy. Whatever. Okay, that's done. Over and done with. Now, next thing that happens is Lorak comes in, and you're going to have to remember this character, I believe. And he asks Daenerys if he can take his father down and, give him a proper burial. Now, this scene, I guess, overall, is supposed to show you that Daenerys is making the decisions of a leader, but she's really not good at thinking shit through. She's basically going through what everyone went through when they were, like, growing up. I would say between the ages of, like, 5 and, like, 10, where you would do shit and you would not think of what happened after. Like, you're a kid, you're climbing you climb a tree, like a really tall ass tree, and you get to the top and you're like, sweet, I fucking climbed the tree. And then you look down and you're like, shit, and you just don't know what to do. That's what Daenerys did, basically. She climbed the tree, she did what she thought was right, what had to be done, but then she's like, fuck, these people want to bury their family members. And you know what, maybe it wasn't the right idea to do the eye for an eye mentality and just kill and just leave them up there, or do it in the first place. Because, again, while a lot of these guys were a part of the whole movement to nail the slaves up on the cross, a lot of them weren't. They go by majority rules. I bet she didn't even think of how they chose it. I bet she just, in her naive mind, thought, oh, it was a unanimous decision. Everyone just agreed to kill the slaves and nail them to crosses littered across the road. Which wasn't at all the case. It was actually, a lot of people were opposed to it, but they were in the minority. Who knows? It could have been like a 40% percent minority. But all we know is they were in the minority, so it was passed. But she didn't go and try to find out who it was that didn't vote for it, who didn't have any part in it, who didn't want it to happen in the first place. No, she just killed them all, which honestly wasn't a good move, quite clearly. So it's whatever at this point. But I think this just shows us that Daenerys is really just not smart right now, and she's not making the right decisions. That's what this scene's supposed to show us. Quick pause, guys. If you're watching this, go ahead and like, so we can get more people in here. Share the video around. If nothing else, just give it a thumbs up. Just like it, so we can get a lot more people watching and enjoying the review and asking questions. Most of all, By the way, if you do have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them by the end of the video, most definitely. So, next scene is the small council. Okay, there are just a few more scenes leading up to the big scene that I really want to fucking talk about. But right now, we're at the scene with the small council. Now, the deal with this scene is mainly going to be, actually, let me just go through step by step. First, we're at the part where, you know, Oberyn doesn't know, you know, to pay his respects to Tywin Lannister, which is, kind of makes sense, if you think about it. Well, technically, Tywin Lannister is just the hand of the king, but in King's Landing right now, he's pretty much the acting king. Tommen can't do shit by himself. So, I mean, if you didn't know, you know, don't know how the small council works, the king is actually supposed to be sitting in with them. You know, a good king would be sitting in with them, which is part of the reason why Tywin knocked Robert Baratheon, because he never sat in with a small council. Like, very, very rarely sat in with a small council. But the point I'm trying to make is Tywin's pretty. This shows that everyone stood up and was paying like their dearest respect when Tywin came in the room. So he's pretty much the head honcho at this point. No one. I mean, as Stannis pointed out before, when Tywin dies, King's Landing's fucked. When Tywin dies, King's Landing is absolutely fucked. Tell me this: with Tyrion in jail and Tywin dead, who is the next most intelligent person in King's Landing? Go ahead. It's just, you literally are going to draw a blank. Maybe Varys. What would he do? Like, Varys stays very humble, very out of the way for good reason, which we'll get to in the next scene. But, yeah, damn, like, there's literally no one intelligent. Maybe Peter Baelish before, but who's going to let him sit, you know, or do any acting king's work? I mean, we're screwed. Pretty much, if Tommen dies, the next most intelligent person will be fucking Cersei, and she's a dumb bitch. So we're kind of screwed there. Just saying. But yeah, Tywin just basically goes over all the threats. You know, he wants Varys to keep a close eye on Daenerys, and honestly, this scene didn't have too much importance. It was more of a symbolic scene, I guess. And we really just set up for the scene that came after, which would have been the trial. Let me just make sure we have nothing else. Oh yeah, there's one scene that was actually very important that happened before the trial. One extremely important scene. Now, this scene would have been the scene with Varys and Oberyn, two of my personal favorite characters, and two of probably the most intelligent characters in the series, having a conversation. And this conversation was very, very meaningful. Now, we started off, first of all, with Oberyn figuring out that Varys was from Essos. He's basically from the region right now where Daenerys is. He's from there. And, you know, Oberyn was asking about his past, you know, everything about, you know, just Varys. And, you know, it's a story that Varys, you know, understandably doesn't want to tell. Now, we found out that Oberyn spent a good part of his life in Essos. And, you know, Varys asked why. You know, why did you do that? You know, you had no reason to. You probably wouldn't have been a ward in Essos. No lord would have taken you as a ward over there. I mean, there are technically no lords over there, right? So Oberyn said that, you know, and it just really reflects on about his character that he said, you know, it's basically for travel purposes. Most people grow up in the same place. They don't get to see very much. They don't get to do very much. So he got around, you know, saw the world. And, you know, that's the thing about Oberyn's intelligence. No, I'm not doubting that he's like an actual intelligent person, but a lot of his intelligence just comes from not books. It doesn't come from books. His intelligence comes from a mixture of the kind of book smart that Tyrion has and just a kind of adventurous spirit. You know, he sees the world. He learns about different cultures. He learns different things. And he's just knowledgeable on people, you know? But, anyways, so the conversation somehow shifts to Varys' sexuality. And it was funny because Oberyn was like, am I not wrong in saying, when you did have a penis, because Varys is a eunuch, so is he saying, he said, when you had a penis, were you into boys? Because, Varys, I'm not saying anything, I have nothing against homosexuals, by the way, I'm not saying anything bad about homosexuals, but he was saying Varys acted, I guess he was saying that Varys kind of acted and sounded like a homosexual, which is kind of true. It's kind of true. If you would just look at him, I guess I would guess the same thing, but Varys is actually like, no. And then he's like, oh, then you were into girls. And Varys says no. And then he said, he assumed, next thing he assumed is Varys had like one true love that he liked, and it was just that one person, because some people are like that. And he's like, no, I wasn't into anyone. And Oberyn was just, kind of curious, like, why? Because, they're just kind of opposites in that respect, Oberyn's into literally anything that breathes. And over here we have Varys that is not sexually attracted to anyone. And he said ambition kills people, basically. He said that, desire, my bad, desire kills people. He basically said, which is a very, very good point, that he's seen what desire and ambition have done to people. Your desire for a man, a desire for a woman, a desire for the Iron Throne, all that stuff. If you look at it, everyone in you might not have realized the importance of this scene, but everyone in Game of Thrones has been killed by desire. Everybody. Well, I'm not going to go ahead and say everybody because I can't think of everyone, but most people have been killed by desire. Robb Stark, killed by his desire for his wife. Or the woman who was his wife before they both died. He was killed by his desire for her, caused him to break his vows. Ned Stark, killed by, I guess, his desire he had a desire to set things right in King's Landing, and he went about it in a too honorable of a way. But it doesn't change the fact that he was killed by desire. Robert Baratheon, I guess he was killed by someone else, but he was killed by desire. He drinks way too much. Desire for drinks. He was killed by desire. Most people were killed by desire, or killed because of desire. You can make the case if Joffrey wasn't killed by desire. He was killed by House Tyrell, their desire for power, and Littlefinger's desire for power. So everyone in the series has been killed by desire, and Varys didn't go out and say it, but he kind of said that with all the people, dying and all the bad things going on at this point, why would I desire anything? He kind of looks at it in a more logical way. Why would I have this emotion of desire when it is what's killing everyone right now? So that was a really good scene to me. But now we get to the best scene of the episode. Or the best, I guess the best sequence of scenes, because it's not going to happen yet. But this is the trial. Now let's get down to this trial. We know from the start, from the get-go, this trial is rigged to shit. And I believe the first witness called up was Meereen Trant. And can anyone guess why I started cracking the fuck up when Meereen Trant was introduced? Because this is the guy, by the way, Meereen Trant, if you don't remember, it's the guy that killed, quote-unquote, killed, I don't know if he's dead or not, Syrio Forel, which is Aryo's water dancing master. He's the one that killed him. And if you recall last episode, the Hound was like, Meereen Trant, he said, Meereen Trant, he's like, the greatest swordsman who ever lived was killed by Meereen fucking Trant. And that was that guy right there. So I was just cracking up. This guy's literally a walking joke to me. He's apparently one of the worst fighters. Just, oh my god, just a waste of space, Meereen Trant. Just a waste of space. But anyways, Cersei paid him off to say something that you guys gotta note about this trial is that nobody had evidence that fit together. Everyone that was brought up to the stand didn't have evidence that fit together, and I'll tell you how. Meereen Trant was saying how Tyrion threatened the king and he, hit the king or whatever. That was his evidence. His evidence only. Only he knew of this. So, if you guys really follow law or you know anything about a real court, if someone has a piece of evidence and it doesn't fit together with anything else, it is not real evidence. So, Meereen Trant's evidence that Tyrion was a dick to Joffrey and, he slapped him around or whatever, it wasn't conclusive evidence. Far from it. Far from it. But it certainly contributed a little bit to, people in the crowd, I guess, sentiments against Tyrion. Another person, I believe, I'm trying to remember like the exact order. I might get the order mixed up for the witnesses, but was Maester Pycelle, and he was saying how Tyrion raided his stores and took all the shit, whatever, fuck it, took all the poison. That whatever, I guess that held some evidence, I guess. I mean, it wasn't conclusive. Once again, it wasn't conclusive. Tyrion took some poison. No one knows if this is true or not. No one else saw this except Pycelle, so whatever. No one can really attest to it, you know. For all they know, he could be lying or someone could be lying. The next piece of evidence given by Cersei. Oh yeah, the thing that Tyrion told to Cersei. Again, you know, people that was, you know, the crowd the whole time was booing. So, but that wasn't conclusive evidence. Now, the most conclusive thing they found didn't even have to do with Tyrion and what it was with the necklace, because if you remember correctly, Peter Baelish killed Dantos, dropped the necklace on him, and set him to float. Like, killed him, set him afloat. So, of course, someone found the body, picked up the necklace, so they knew that Dantos was the one that carried Sansa away. They knew that the poison was in the necklace, and they knew that the poison used was the strangler, which was stolen from Pycelle's stores. So those two linked together, but it did not conclude that it was Tyrion, right? So let's go to the next scene, the scene where all that happens in the scene is Jaime begs Tywin, let Tyrion go. I will leave the Kingsguard. I will. The king will fire. Basically, the only way to leave the Kingsguard is if the king basically fires you, like they did with Barristan. But he leaves the Kingsguard, goes to Castle Rock, marries, does everything Tywin wants, and then they'll send Tyrion to the Night's Watch. That's the only way it's going to happen. Now, we're going to get to the final part of the trial. None of the evidence was really conclusive except for the evidence between Pycelle, the poison that was found in the necklace, and Pycelle's stores. That was the only thing. Now, this is what really fucked Tyrion over. Shay. That was the final thing that made all the evidence conclusive, because it was, first of all, a person that was close to Tyrion that said shit that Tyrion would say. She was Sansa's handmaid, so if she's saying this, people are going to be like, well, that's the obvious thing. You know, Sansa's handmaid, someone who would have been literally tending to Sansa while she was with Tyrion. And then the last story she told about him, you know, fucking her and her becoming his whore, it was all, if you notice, it was all, like, I guess reasonably, the events that could have occurred. Because you know how she said that she belonged to one of the soldiers that was fighting with them. And he picked her up when they were at camp. If you remember, they did meet at camp, but they didn't meet how she said it. So these are things that really happened, but of course she's fabricating it. But we're the only ones that know that since we were there. This is the most conclusive evidence. Shay coming in and giving her testimony. And to top it all off, Tyrion's case is really fucked when he says, "Oh, Shay, please stop." Because that just sounds like she's telling the truth, and he's just like, stop, please, stop giving me away, stop, you know. That fucked him over more. Now, this part of the episode has to be probably my favorite point thus far in Game of Thrones, and I'm not exaggerating. This is my favorite scene. Tyrion's fucking scene right here, after Shay starts to give her testimony and, you know, to speak against Tyrion. And you know, okay, everyone else was forced to say what they said, or at least paid off, you know. They got a favor for testifying against Tyrion lying. Shay got nothing out of it. Shay got nothing out of it. She could have easily gone with a lesser story. She could have easily, trust me, this is Shay's scorn. For everyone out there thinking maybe, oh, maybe Shay was forced. Maybe she was threatened to be killed like Podrick. She fucking wasn't. She fucking wasn't. because you can tell she was mad as fuck when Tyrion said, "Shay, please stop," and she's like, "I'm just another whore, remember?" She's pretty much she was pretty much like, "This is for telling me to leave." This is basically what she did. This is for telling me to leave. That's what she did. She just two middle fingers right at Tyrion, like, "This is for telling me to go." That's what she did, which is just sad. I was just like, no, Shay, like, why? This dude risked his life trying to protect you. He told you to go just to protect you. And for trying to save your life, you sentenced him to death. Lost all respect for Shay. Lost every single shred of respect I ever had for Shay. And so did he. Oh my god, Tyrion's monologue. I'm not even going to try to like say one of his lines, but Tyrion's monologue, fuck it, I am going to because I just need to. He said, "I saved every one of you during the Battle of the Blackwater. I tried to save every single one of your worthless lives." Tyrion just went completely in. He just completely just like went off on everybody in the crowd. Everybody in the crowd, he just completely went off. He said, "I didn't kill Joffrey, but it brought me more pleasure than 100 lying whores." It was absolutely insane. That scene was literally just 100% insane. He said, "I didn't kill him, but it brought seeing him die, watching your bastard die, brought me more pleasure than 100 lying whores." So you can tell right now, Tyrion clearly hates Shay. He hates the living shit out of Shay. I was just so stunned at the scene. It was just 100% amazing acting, completely on point. And to top it all off, just the plot progression and what it does for Tyrion's character, he calls for a trial by battle. But think about it right now. Think about this in your head. Who's going to fight for Tyrion? Who's going to fight for him? He calls for a trial by battle. Who's going to fight for him? Name me one person that would fight for Tyrion at this point. Jaime? He can't fight for Tyrion. He was a member of the Kingsguard. He can't fight for Tyrion. He's already labeled the Kingslayer. How is he going to be one of the people who couldn't rescue the king and now fight against the king's side in a trial by battle? How can Bronn do it? Bronn probably chased out of the city by now, offered knightship. I don't know, but Bronn's probably not going to do it. I don't think Bronn is prepared to risk his life for Tyrion at this point. Not at this critical point. So who's going to do it? Tyrion's in a really, really shitty situation. An extremely shitty situation. But all in all, I have to say that episode was extremely well done. Like, the ending of that episode of the whole trial, Tyrion's monologue, if there's already a YouTube link of that monologue up, please get me the link. And I'm probably going to rewatch that scene about 20 times. Like, just no joke, I'm going to rewatch that scene 20 times. It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And oh my god, just a mind-blowing scene. Just amazing from Tyrion. One more thing I want to point out is Varys in this episode. Varys did the exact same thing he did with Ned Stark, which is, he could have probably lended some help to Ned Stark. He could have gone and, helped him try to escape or something, or just speak on his behalf, but he didn't, because he just wants to avoid getting himself into trouble, getting himself mixed up in this. So, yeah. But all in all, it was just an extremely nice episode. I really loved it. Again, I think this was probably the best acting so far in Game of Thrones. This scene right here, by far the best acting in the series. But yeah, that was the end of the episode, so let me get to some comments. What the fuck was up with Shay? She was mad. That's it. She was mad. She was angry at Tyrion for calling her a whore and cursing her out, so she would leave. Basically mad at Tyrion for trying to save her life. So she fucking bailed. She bailed and fucked him over. So, superb episode. Shay coming in and testifying with a plot twist. I was like, oh nah, yeah, dude. Shay fucked up. Whew. Man, I wish they gave some possible explanation for how the hell Yara ran hounds for like 5 miles. Oh well, yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know how like she managed to outrun them for that long. Maybe he didn't really set them loose. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of a plot hole, I guess you could call it that. But I don't think anyone really cares about that. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand. I mean, she outran them, but at the same time, she could have killed them. You know, we just didn't see what happened. But we don't know for sure that she was chased 4 or 5 miles. Actually, no, we did hear them barking. I have no idea, honestly, how she ran the hounds. Whatever. Those goats weren't ready, dude. Those goats got murked. Those goats just got shafted. Oh my god. But yeah. I feel like Daenerys is the type to be swayed by someone because of a sob story. That may lead to people taking advantage of her. Yeah. Good you noted that. You noted that too. That she was just simply like, as a king, I think you should be like Stannis, or as a leader. Even if you don't make the right choice, follow it through. Just follow it through. So people will have more faith in you. Don't be, wishy-washy, just don't do it. Follow your decisions through, or that really, this is not a good mindset to go in with. He just told that simple story, and she's like, fine. Pretty much undid everything she did, except didn't bring. She just got basically the worst of both worlds. People think she changes her mind easily, and she made a mistake killing him in the first place. So, yeah. 5 episodes into the introduction, Oberyn has become one of my favorite characters. He's so hard-boiled, dude. Oberyn's a boss. He was just sitting back during the trial like, yeah. That one scene where he was like, Tyrion said that, told her to fuck her like it was his last night in this world. And Oberyn's just like, did you? Did you fuck him like it was his last night in this world? I was cracking up. I was just like, damn, dude, he's fucking hilarious. And he was just sitting back in his. He wasn't even sitting down like everyone else was sitting like this, sitting like up straight. This dude was just like, yeah, I'm just chilling out, watching the trial, just throwing in my occasional comment whenever. It's pretty funny. I like how Varys and Baelish are complete opposite of one another. No wonder they bounce off each other so well. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Very true. And that really demonstrated itself in the Chaos of the Ladder speech. Varys doesn't like chaos very much. He likes things to be organized, orderly, everything going in order for him. Baelish thinks his strategy is always to create chaos, and you just rise up. Just rise up. Meereen Trent can eat baby assholes. Meereen Trent is just a joke, honestly. And the funniest thing about Meereen Trent is he's like that one kid, or that one person, that's just the most serious person. Like, they always have the serious face on. They act completely, stoic, completely serious, but they're just a walking joke. They're the most serious person, but they are a joke. That's Meereen Trent right there. Arguably my favorite scene too. Honestly, yeah, it's the best acting of any scene. Honestly. Best special effects would go to the Battle of Blackwater when Bronn shot the fire arrow and they had the wildfire in the water. That was the best special effects. But the best acting, hands down for me at least, goes to this scene. It was just absolutely amazing. Fuck Shay. Yeah, Shay's lost. Shay is gone, dude. Shay's just, never gonna be in my favor again, man. Just a fucked up person. Reek had me laughing. Yeah, that he's gone, dude. Theon's gone. Theon's gone. Shay's gone. Like, damn. But I think it's pretty clear from the preview from next week's episode, Prince Oberyn is going to fight for Tyrion, especially since they show the mountain at the very beginning. I'm not going to say yes or no, but we'll see. We'll see. I can't spoil. I can't spoil. I already know what's going to happen. All right, so Kenneth Tor, man, you're totally wrong on Dany's decision. The mistake she made was allowing that dude to take his father and whoever else down and showing weakness. If you bend as a conqueror, then you'll break. So far, we agree. The mistake she made was agreeing kind of to take them down, I guess. But, okay, let me read the rest of it. If she took control through politics or a relationship, then yeah, it mattered what the people that still in power think. But if you were a conqueror, you take power and you put people who didn't have much power before in power. They'll be loyal to you after the last people in power. Believe me, I know. The street is calling me. Also, who cares if it was a vote decision? They are one, and his father didn't join Dany's causes. He didn't want to do it. If they won, they will surely enough crucify her or worse to make an example. Okay. I agree with a lot of things you said, but at the same time I kind of disagree. First, let's go over, was it a correct decision for Dany to have crucified them? Personally, I don't think it was the correct decision to crucify all of them. I actually don't think it was the correct decision to crucify them at all, but I'll tell you why. First of all, let's go back to I think what Barristan said. Barristan told me, leader of the Kingsguard, you know, this guy has been around. No, this guy has been around for a long time. Barristan said, I believe he said, he has served many a Targaryen king. He has been leader of the Kingsguard for a very, very long time. This guy knows his politics. This guy absolutely knows good leaders, bad leaders. He's seen them all live and die, right? And he was the one saying, wouldn't it be better to show these men mercy? Because if you think about it, and really just think about it, Daenerys could have set the slaves free without killing all the masters. She already had control of the city. Now, what good comes? Let's think of war this way. You want to come out with the war with the maximum benefit, right? That's what you want. You want to come out with the maximum benefit. So what Daenerys did was crucify and kill all the masters. This gives Daenerys no benefit. This doesn't help Daenerys at all. This doesn't do a single thing for her. I guess if she gets some kind of sick pleasure of watching them all fucking nailed up on some Joffrey type shit, like Joffrey would have just probably enjoyed like just watching it as a spectacle. But she could have benefited a lot more. As you saw before, these men were leaders. The guy, the father of Lorak, which is the guy that came in to plead for his father to be taken down, was one of the people who helped restore the city. These guys have they are useful. They can be of help to her. They can be of service to her. If nothing else, she can use them and then toss them aside. Make them regular citizens. Just toss them all aside, you know, whatever. But at least get some kind of benefit from them. Killing them gave her no benefit. It gave her absolutely no benefit. Why do it? Why do it if it doesn't give you benefit? They don't deserve death because hypothetically, if they beat her, they would have killed her. That doesn't make them deserve death. Okay, let's say I'm planning to kill you. Whatever. I'm planning to kill somebody, but I was caught before I did it and brought to justice. Do I deserve to die because I would have killed them if I could? No. They're not going to kill me. You know, I just don't like that mentality. I just don't. I'm just not down with it. So that being said, I don't really think they deserve being nailed up, but I do believe it was a mistake to let the guy down in a way. Because she showed weakness as a leader, you know. She showed that she can be swayed with words, and this might come back to bite her. Who knows? It might come back to bite her. If you're, like I said before, if you're going to do something as a leader, do it. Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. And don't sway, don't change your mind just because of random shit. You know, just stick to what you say. Because people are just going to think all kinds of shit about you. And the number one thing about a leader is people have to respect you. If you don't have the respect as a leader, Joffrey didn't have respect. Not a good leader. Tywin has respect. Fan-fucking-tastic leader. You know, that's what separates leaders. The amount of respect you have. Anyways, any more questions, go ahead and ask them. I'm going to end this off when we're done answering the questions. Uh, when she said, "We'll answer justice with justice," I was like, "Yeah, she's making a mistake because that's not justice." Exactly. Exactly. Daenerys herself said that she would answer justice with justice, and that is stupid in the pretense of what she's doing. That's not chaining and crucifying them is not justice. It's not justice. You know. I guess if you're saying an eye for an eye, trust me, the saying an eye for an eye is so much different from justice with justice. Saying they'll answer justice with justice is like saying that the slavers. Here we go. This is my mindset. Her saying she'll answer justice with justice is like saying that the slavers crucifying those slaves to the posts was justice. Was that justice? No, that was oh yeah, she'll answer injustice with justice. Yeah, but she's answering injustice. Them, crucifying those kids with bringing them to justice isn't the same as doing exactly the same to them as they did to the kids. It's not the same thing. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Even if you kill them, I think doing the same exact shit is a bit. It's really much. It's really much. Anyways, that Targaryen blood flows through her. They're pretty sadistic, I guess. That's actually. I guess some Targaryen would enjoy to see that. Do you really think they would ever love her after seeing the slaves free? It would have been too much work to watch these guys. With that, I agree with you. I agree with you. They wouldn't. Okay. A lot of them probably would not have loved her. At the same time, yes, you're also right. It would take a lot to watch them, make sure they're doing the right thing. But I think after you get past that and you get to the point of, not all of them were bad, they're kind of being forced to conform, they are the vast minority, it'll be fine in the end. I honestly think it would have been fine in the end to use them. Of course you have to punish them. That's where their punishment comes in, They're being kept under close surveillance, being made live in, very bad conditions, They're being punished. Punish them. But don't do the same exact, use them. Use them to their fullest. But I do agree with you, it might have been way too much work making sure they do what they're supposed to do, just not going out by themselves and, just fucking shit up. But yeah, we're going on 52 minutes, so any last minute question, go ahead and ask them. If not, I'll answer every question you guys put in the comments, or I'll try to. I haven't been getting around to that lately, sadly, but I will try to answer all the comments this time. But yeah, guys, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, of course, for more Game of Thrones reviews. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Gonna stick around for about 30 more seconds or so to see if any more questions roll in. Let's see, I think we got one. So killing them is worse than killing... Okay, no, I don't think killing them is worse than killing the kids. It's not worse, but it is... It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. That's okay, I'll give you this example right here. Tell me if this makes sense, because I really want to just make this make sense. Alright, so you go out, or some random serial killer motherfucker goes out and tortures a dude. They torture him, kill him, cut him up, whatever. He did that to somebody. Does that mean that the court, or whoever, the person in power, should go to that guy, cut him up, do the same exact stuff, torture him, and then kill him? No. You put him in jail for life, or you give him the death penalty, which is a lot less severe. I'm not saying they shouldn't have killed the guys. I mean, I personally wouldn't have killed them in the first place, but why crucify them, not let their families have them, and all that? Why not just put them to death? At worst, put them to death. I think that's literally the worst punishment that a leader should ever get, death. If not death, exile them. If not that, find some other prison for life. Don't do the same exact thing. That's not justice. That's not justice. Flashy Brown, I can't answer. That's kind of a spoiler, but Well, actually, I'll answer it. I'm not going to say any spoilery stuff, but yeah, I do. But kind of spoiler-y. But yeah, guys, I believe that's it, unless you guys have any last-minute questions, which I will, I guess, check over. But yeah, 30 more seconds just about. No more questions, I'll end it. If there are more questions, then I will answer the questions. Refreshing the page right now, seeing if there are any more. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and then that's going to be it. All right, that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. As Alan Pounds here, as always, go ahead, like, comment. Most importantly, subscribe so you can see more of these. Like it so other people will see it. All that stuff, guys. But thank you for watching. I will see you guys later.